The next program that we want to write is whether a number inputted by the user is lesser than 100. Very simple program. I want to write whether the number inputted by the user is lesser than 100. So my idea is I will be asking for one number from the user. I will tell the user to enter a number. I will check whether the number he has entered is lesser than 100 or not. Very simple program. So how to write this program? For that, we will firstly printf enter a number. So this is the printf part where I am telling the user to enter a number. Now I will definitely scan that number within a variable and check whether it is lesser than 100 or not. So scanf %d ampersand number. Don't you forget to declare this number. How you do that? Int number. Now I want to check whether this number inputted by the user is lesser than 100 or not. Is not too easy a program now? If, definitely if part, I have to check whether this number is lesser or greater than 100. So I can check if number lesser than 100. I can simply print the number you entered is lesser than 100. Why? Because the if part that I have checked, if number is lesser than 100 or not. So if the number is lesser than 100, then definitely I can say the number you entered is lesser than 100, because this part, it enters within this block, means that the number is lesser than 100. So I need to printf this. I have just written it without the printf part. Yeah, printf the number you entered is lesser than 100. So that is the only thing I need to write here. But what is there in else? If I go to the else block, then definitely I have come to the else block because the number is not lesser than 100, which means the number is either equal to 100 or greater than 100. So I can write printf the number is equal to or greater than 100. So I have to just check and print whether the number is lesser than 100 or not. So you can again follow the program, very easy. I have declared an integer called number. I have just printf enter a number, scan the number within the variable called number. I have checked whether the number is lesser than 100 or not. If it is lesser than 100, then definitely it enters the if block. I printf the number you entered is lesser than 100. Else, it goes to the else part, means it is not lesser than 100. So I am printing the number is equal to or greater than 100. So over here I can close my program with the get ch. Once that is done, I can run this program now. So once I run this program, I will be asked to enter a number. So let me enter 21. It is lesser than 100. The number you entered is lesser than 100. Or if I again run this program and say 107, it is greater than or equal to 100. So it is equal to or greater than 100. Definitely this will work. You can give as big a number as possible, 10,000. Still it will say it is equal to or greater than 100. If you give the smallest of number 2, still it will say it is lesser than 100, because that is the logic. Now you check one thing. I have seen if the number is lesser than 100. There is another logic I had said. I had already told you that I can, even this place of less than, I could have written equal to, I could have written greater than, I could have written not equal to, but there is another thing that is possible. What is that? That is lesser than equal to, or maybe this one, greater than equal to. Now what does that mean? What does lesser than equal to mean? Lesser than equal to means that the number that is over here, I am checking whether it is either less than or it is equal to 100. That is also a possibility to check. It is either less than or equal to. That means if in this case the number is equal to 100, in the previous case if I drop out this equal to, that means if the number is 99, still it will enter this if block. But over here, if the number is equal to 100, then it will go to the else block because it is not less than. However, if I write less than equal to, then what will happen is, if it is 100, it will enter the if block. If it is greater than 100, only then it will go to this block. Which means in this case, 100 will go to this block. In case of 100, it will go to this block. Which means over here it can never be equal. Instead, the equal part will be over here. The number you entered is equal to or lesser than 100. Over here it cannot be equal to, it is greater than 100. Number you entered is greater than 100. You can check once. Alt R. If you say 100, then it will say it is equal to or lesser than 100. But if you print 101, it will say it is greater than. If you print 99, it will say it is equal to or lesser than. So the equal to part has gone to this side. You can do this easily. You could have reversed the logic. You could have said greater than equal to. You understand the meaning of greater than equal to sign? Greater than equal to sign means it is either greater or equal. So in this case, this loop, this part of the block will be entered only if it is greater than 100 or it is equal to 100. So over here I need to write printf, the number you entered is greater than or equal to 100. Else part will say it is not greater or equal, it is lesser than 100. So I think you understand this. If the number is greater than equal to, I have used this sign, greater than equal to, which means if it is equal to 100, still it will enter this block. It will say it is greater than or equal to. If it is greater than, it will enter this block. If it is lesser than, only this, then it will go to this block. You can still run and again check. Sorry. Alt R, enter. So 65, it is 100. I print 100, it is greater than or equal to 100. I run 105, it is greater than or equal to 100. So I think you have understood all permutations, combinations of lesser than equal to, greater than equal to. Now, if somebody tells me that when a number is entered, you will have to tell one out of three possibilities. If it is lesser than 100, you have to say it is lesser than 100. If it is greater than 100, you have to say it is greater than 100. If it is equal to 100, you will have to say it is equal to 100. Now, how to do that? See, for that, this part of the program remains the same. Then for that, what is the possibility? See, over there, till now, all cases, you are having only two possible outcomes. So, it was only if or else. Two possible outcomes means it is lesser or greater than equal to. But over here, three outcomes are possible. It may be lesser, it may be greater, it may be lesser, or it may be equal to. So what to do? Over here, I will need another thing which is like else if. And I can have an else. Check out what I want to say. The combination will be somewhat like this. If something, else if something, else something. Do you understand this? If something, else if something, else something. Why? Three possible combinations. So over here, if I check, if it is equal to, then it will enter this block. In that case, what will I have to write? The number you entered is equal to 100. But if it is not equal to 100, then it is either greater or lesser. Then where will it go? It will go to this else if part. Within this else if, you will have to again check else if number lesser than 100. Number lesser than 100. In that case, you write the number is lesser than 100. What is the else part? Can you guess? See, number is equal to 100, it enters this if block. If the else if number is lesser than 100, it goes to this block. Else, where does it go? It goes to here, which means what is the only case left out? Number is greater than 100. So over here you can write printf the number is greater than 100. So I think you understand this very easily now. You check out once more. I'm checking whether it is equal to, whether the number is equal to 100. If it is equal to 100, you enter the number you entered is equal to 100. If the number is lesser than 100, you print the number is lesser than 100. Else you print the number is greater than 100. So these are the three cases possible. I think you understand this. So let me run this program once more. Number, suppose I enter 10, lesser than 100. Again you run, you enter 100 this time, equal to 100. You run with 200, greater than 100. So this thing works fine. I believe you understand this thing. So these are the things. You can take a bit of rest before I come back with the next program.